What's up? How's everybody doing tonight? Welcome to another live show with Wired for Crappie. Another live Q&A. Hope everybody's doing well. Today is the 13th of May, and it has gotten cold again. If you guys don't care, go ahead and drop me a hello and let me know where you're from. I'd like to see all your names, where you're from. If you don't mind, drop me a comment, say hello. Mr. Larry, I see you there. Hello, Mr. Larry Merrick. I believe, let's see, Larry, you're from down Chattanooga way, if I remember correctly. Glad to have you. Got Mr. David Holly, or is that Holy? One of the two. If I pronounce that wrong, David, I'm sorry. Travis, how's it going? Good evening. Hope everybody's doing well. Yeah, it's gotten cold again here, guys. In East Tennessee, it dropped off cold this week. Actually, I've got a video that I'm going to put out probably tomorrow evening. It'll probably, I'm just about done with it, and I'll get it out tomorrow. I couldn't help myself. Actually, I wasn't planning on fishing this past weekend, and just so happened I had some Mother's Day stuff that was going on. I was going to go to my mother's one day, and then of course my wife is my son's mother, so we were going to stick around for that day. But the Saturday deal got canceled because it was cold and we were going to cook out, and actually decided not to since it was cold. I mean, it was like 32 here Saturday morning, and I thought, I've got to go to the lake. I've got to go show the Wired family how I catch fish in the middle of a spawn when the cold front hits. So I went and did that, and like I said, that video will be out tomorrow. So tomorrow evening probably. So when you guys get off work or whatever tomorrow, it should be up for you so you can watch it. But I caught some fish. It was a really good show, really good episode, and I did a little bit different technique too for me. So it's a kind of a new technique for me, and I think you guys will like it. So catch that tomorrow. But let's see who else is on. Larry from Dayton. That's correct. Yeah, Larry from Dayton. We got Josh from Chattanooga. What's going on? Tim White. Hello, sir. Ashley Coffee. Or Kofi. Ashley, I think you messaged me earlier. Let me look. You did, and I have not got back with you. I have not read your message yet, but I will read it, I promise. I saw it come across when I was at work, and I just haven't got to it yet, but I will, I promise you. Let's see, Travis. 2 days of rain in mid-40s, rest of the week 80s. It's been cold. I mean, it's warmed up a little bit, but our nights have just been chilly. So the lake's cooled back off. The lake's back down to about 60 degrees, somewhere right around in there. So still cool in East Tennessee. A lot of cold water. I tried to find warmer water this past weekend, and the surface temps all across the lake had cooled off. So that 30-degree night really knocked them in the head. Matt Scotch, Lake Fork, Texas. I swear I've got to get to Lake Fork at some point in the near future. I just see so many big fish coming out of Lake Fork. It's like you guys got 2-pounders sitting on every branch down there. It's really really enticing to drive 14 hours to go fish, but I'm going to get down there eventually. Actually, funny, I grew up down around Sam Rayburn, Lake Fork when I was younger. I lived in Southeast Texas for several years when I was younger, and we fished Sam Rayburn mostly. But yeah, I've got to get down that way and do some fishing for sure. Mr. Adams from Middle Tennessee, hello. Got Charles Hale, what's up? What's up? Welcome, Charlie. Coffee like the drink, but not spelled the same. All right, I'll remember that. Matt Scotch, let's go. I'm ready, buddy. I'm telling you, if I can get a pass, the very first pass I get, it's in drive, overdrive, and the Ranger is on the road. Trust me. Steven from Holly Springs, North Carolina. What's going on, buddy? Joshua Coggin, hello. Ronnie Harris from Georgia. What part of Georgia are you from, Ronnie? I lived in Albany for a little while. I was born in Atlanta, actually, so I got Georgia roots too. I got roots all over the place, man. Got a big old tree. Yeah, Ronnie, what part of Georgia are you from? What lake you fish mostly in Georgia? Let's see, we got Mark Brown, Denison, Texas. Hello, Mark. Brandon Miller from Knoxville, hometown. Just right over the hill from me. Maryville to Knoxville. What's going on, Brandon? Got Eddie Gregg. Hello, sir. Let's see. So, yeah, let's recap a little bit of this last week. Cold, water temps are down, as I said earlier. Let me get on a soapbox for me. You guys know I get on a soapbox. I like my soapbox now. I've been looking for an Ultrex. Everybody knows that. For you that follow the channel, you know I put a hole in my boat the other day because my trolling motor got stuck on constant. And I fixed the hole, as a matter of fact. I've got it patched. It's ready to rock and roll. She's back on the lake. So anyway, it didn't go all the way through. Hole didn't go all the way through. It was just a really good ding into the side of the boat. But what's up, George Hamby from Maryville? What's going on? Kurt Meredith, hello. Ronnie Harris. Carrollton, 50 miles west of Atlanta. Okay, I know where Carrollton's at, Ronnie. I actually did some work in Carrollton. You guys have a outdoor amphitheater in Carrollton. Is that correct? Downtown Carrollton, you got an outdoor amphitheater. The roof on it and the roofs on the bathroom, I put those on there, the metal roofing. So, been there, done that. But anyway, hello, JB Georgia, JB Georgia, JB LaGrange. How's it going, buddy? RPB, what's up? Yep, Ronnie, correct. He says, see, guys, I'm telling you, I got roots all over the place. I've been a little bit of here and a little bit of there. So that amphitheater, that outdoor amphitheater, Ronnie's nice. We used to sit and eat lunch in the grass and just sit there and feel that outdoor grass. That outdoor grass is nice. They put some money in that place. So it's a nice amphitheater. For those of you that hadn't seen it, if you go to Carrollton, you got to see it. It's a pretty cool little place. That downtown area in Carrollton is really cool. There's a barbecue place right around the corner from the amphitheater. I can't remember the name of it. Ronnie might be able to help me out. But there's a barbecue place right there around the corner from that amphitheater in downtown Carrollton that is to die for. It is probably some of the best barbecue I've ever eaten. No joke. So I used to go there for lunch every day. I knew we were only going to be there for a few weeks working on that place. And I said, we're going every day. It was good. I mean, desserts are good. Barbecue's good. It's all good. Jeff from New Tazewell. How's it going, Jeff? Let's see. Let me go back to my story here. Let's see. So yeah, I got the boat fixed. Got the hole patched, and we're back on the water. Now, the thing that has kind of surprised me is, like I said, you guys know I was looking for an Ultrex because I am going to switch my trolling motor on my boat. And I couldn't find it. I do not run Humminbirds, first of all. I run Lowrance's, and I on my console, I run Lowrance's, and I've got a Garmin up front. So I don't need a mega down imaging transducer, and I don't need iPilot Link, and I need iPilot, but I don't need Link. So I got to looking, and I'm trying to find a trolling motor that is iPilot with the US2 transducer in it and a 60-inch shaft, because out of my 690 VS, it's high-sided, so it's deep V, right? So I need a 60-inch shaft. Nobody has a 60-inch shaft in a 24-volt, 80-pound thrust US2 transducer trolling motor. The only thing I could find a 60-inch shaft in was a 24-volt, 80-pound thrust with the mega down imaging transducer, which is that big old long thing on the end. It's just, I don't need it. It's ugly. I'm sorry if you have it. I apologize. I'm not calling your trolling motor ugly. I'm afraid that I'll bang it up against everything and break it anyway. So I checked the bass tank, Travis. They don't have one with a US2 transducer, not 24 volt, 80-pound thrust. I can get a 36 volt 112 60-inch shaft, but my battery compartment won't hold 3 batteries. So I'd have to put one battery somewhere else in the boat and run wires. And it's just, I'm not doing that either. So I'm still digging. I'm still trying to find one. And I'll find one eventually. Somebody's got one. I'll find one somewhere eventually. So anyway, long story short, living life with Laura. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that. For those of you that don't know, that is my wife. She supports me. She supports me 99 cents, but she supports me. So thank you very much for the super chat, Laura. I love you, honey. So anyway, we'll find one. We'll we'll definitely get one at some point, and I'm still looking. So if you guys can find a 24 volt, 80-pound thrust with a 60-inch shaft with a US2 transducer on it, please send me an email or a phone call or text or Facebook message or something, because I'm struggling. And I don't want to pay the extra $500 for a transducer I don't need. Right? Makes sense. But I'm going to find one because that other trolling motor is coming off. All right, so let's see. I'm behind a little bit. Let me get all caught up here with everybody. Travis says, got all my rewiring done today. So, Travis, I'm glad you figured out your live scope problem. Me and Travis have been talking back and forth. Travis has had some live scope issues. Come to find out, and I'm going to share this, Travis, I hope you don't mind. Come to find out, the guy that wired his live scope didn't necessarily know, I guess, 100% of what he was doing, and he actually did not use the proper gauge wires from the battery to the power cord for the live scope, so it wasn't pulling the correct amperage. The reason that Garmin tells you to use the gauge wire they tell you to use is because that small gauge wire cannot pull. It'll pull 12 volts, but it can't pull the amperage that it needs to run live scope. I know I've harped and soapboxed my eyes out with live scope and the amperage, but the amperage is what's so important for live scope, not the voltage. You can have 12 volts and not have enough amps. So if you're not, and Travis, he got in there, he dug into it, he found those wires, he knew right away they weren't the right gauge, and he got all his rewiring done. So kudos to you, Travis. That's awesome, man. I hope it works out a lot better for you. If there's anything else I can help with, you just let me know. Blake Houck, what's going on, buddy? He says, sorry, running a little late, getting back from fishing. Thanks for rubbing it in, Blake. I appreciate it. Let me tell y'all something. Mr. Blake is quick to tell me when he fishes on a weekday. He is very quick to let me know he's going fishing because he knows I work a full-time job. So he's real quick to be like, hey, I think I'm just going to go to the lake tomorrow. Thanks. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate you. You're always there for me, and I like it. Larry Merritt, Tennessee Outdoors. I'll check them. Thank you, Larry. I appreciate that. Let me go back and talk about super chats for a minute, guys. I know that some of you probably know what a super chat is, some don't. Super chats are a way for you guys to put back into my channel monetarily to keep me on the water and for you guys to support the channel. For everything that comes in, I assure you it goes right back to the channel. I had a guy ask me last week, and I think I told this story last week on my live, but he asked me, he said, I'm thinking about starting a YouTube channel. Do you make money at it? And how much money do you make? Is it worth it? And I said, look, man, I said, if you're doing it for the money, you're in it for the wrong reason, first of all. And second of all, I spend 3 to 1 what I get off YouTube. Trust me. That's no joke. Now that's where I'm at currently. I don't know some of these other big YouTubers that have millions and millions of views. They may make pretty good money. I've heard of people that do YouTube for a living. I don't. I promise you. I have a full-time job. I work. I have a wife and 2 kids, and I do YouTube on the side. I do it for you guys. Hopefully, it helps. I just want to further the sport of crappie fishing and help you guys catch more fish. So super chats are a way for you guys to put back into the channel and support the channel. And for everything that comes in, it goes to crappie fishing. And I appreciate you guys very much for everything that you do. Okay. So with that being said, let's see. Let's move down through here. Can you disconnect your constant switch? What do you mean, RPB? Are you talking live scope? Can you disconnect constant switch? I'm not sure what you mean there. Drop me another comment. Explain that a little bit more if you don't care. George Hamby says, get the ghost. My Ultrex is not spot locking well at all. George, I've noticed that in some areas, in some bays and certain lakes and creeks, you won't get a very good GPS signal. So I've noticed that too, some with Ultrex. The GPS signal sometimes isn't the best, and I think that's probably more so positioning of satellites than it is the actual trolling motor. But keep in mind, it works off of the GPS satellites and their positioning, and it's pinging off, 3 or 4 different satellites trying to get a GPS coordinate and narrow you down. So a lot of times, it doesn't exactly get it right, and it'll move you a little bit and so on and so forth. But my fishing partner has an Ultrex on his boat. I'm still running the Tarova, but his Ultrex, for the most part, is pretty spot on, generally speaking. But yes, I don't know much about Ghost trolling motor, and I don't know a whole lot about the Lowrance trolling motor. I've done some research on both of them. I definitely think they're decent trolling motors, without a doubt. They're brushless motors. I've heard that the Ghost is quieter as far as decibels under the water. So that could have something, maybe down the road, if you're fishing over top of brush or over top of fish, maybe that could be a benefit to you. But I don't know. I can tell you I have a hard time spending $3,000 on a trolling motor. Actually, $3,300 by the time you add tax, and then shipping is another probably $200. So unless you find somebody that'll ship it for free, which they might. But yeah, I have a hard time spending that kind of cash on a trolling motor. Let's see. John Bain, hello. Bonehead discounts. Yes, Travis, good question. Bonehead discounts. I do have a bonehead discount for you guys, and I apologize. I think I've put it out in maybe 1 or 2 videos since it changed. The discount code for bonehead has changed. My discount code used to be Crappie19. It is now Crappie 2020. I'm going to put that. Let me type that in here for you guys. It is Crappie 2020. Bam. All right, so Crappie 2020 is the bonehead discount code for the year, and that will get you 15% off all of your bonehead tackle. Okay, so go to their website, check them out, www.boneheadtackle.com, and use that discount code Crappie 2020. Good question, Travis, and thank you. Sean Bradford, learning a lot from your live chats. Thank you. You're welcome, Sean. I'm glad you're picking some stuff up. Look, guys, that's why I started this channel. Okay, and if y'all don't care, start leaving some questions. I'll start answering some questions. Okay. But thank you, Sean. I started this channel, and I started East Tennessee Crappie Club as well because I wanted to teach guys to catch more fish. I wanted to help and give you guys as much knowledge as I can. And I've been told I'm very detail oriented and I explain things in detail. That's because I want to do everything that I can to help you guys out. Okay. So if you guys have any questions, anything, there are no dumb questions. everybody is at some point in their path of crappie fishing. I myself am not an expert at crappie fishing. I don't consider myself a pro crappie fisherman or anything like that. I'm just a guy that has a little bit that wants to give you what I've got. That's it. So I appreciate it, Sean. Thank you very much. Hennessy got my old Terra in just a couple days, Larry says. I'll check them out, Larry. I'll give them a call too, see if I can't talk them into finding me one. But right now, I mean, they're not even on Johnson's website. I went to Johnson's website to the Minn Kota section looking for the 24 volt, 80-pound thrust, US2 transducer with a 60-inch shaft. All they have is a 45 and a 52. They don't even have a 60 on the website. So I don't know if they discontinued them or what, but I'm hoping they didn't. And if they did, I'm hoping somebody can locate one somewhere in the US. I don't know. We're going to find out because I'm still searching. Oh, yeah, Travis says, and he had it on my Group 24 cranking battery. Guys, if you're going to put live scope on a lead acid battery, don't put it on anything below a 27. A Group 27 is as low as you want to go. I ran mine when I first got it on a Group 31, and it killed it in about 4 weeks. Completely killed the battery, wouldn't recharge. So, and I never ran it dead. It draws so many amps out of those batteries, it just kills them. So, yeah, don't put it on anything less than a Group 27, and I think that's in the Garmin book too. So, let's see, where'd we go? It jumped on me, guys. Oh, okay. RPB. So your trolling motor, he said. So he's talking about, can you disconnect your constant switch on the trolling motor? I guess I can, RPB, probably. I don't know, to be honest with you. I'd probably have to get in the foot pedal and try to disconnect it there. However, I would be afraid I'd break the foot pedal. So no, I'd rather not, because then there's that decreases the resale value of it too if that doesn't work. So no, I probably want it. Travis, thank you very much for the super chat. I really appreciate people like you and Sarge who does these live feeds. Buddy, I appreciate you very much. I appreciate the friendship. I appreciate you reaching out to me like you have. And I apologize too. I hadn't seen anything in the mail. I know we were going to get hooked up there on something, but I hadn't seen it yet. So I don't want you to think I forgot you. I just hadn't seen anything. But thank you for the super chat, buddy. I appreciate it very much, and that will definitely help me out. So thank you very much. Let's see. Go back up here. Here's a good question from Larry. I know you run 2 units at the console. What do you use for a mount? So my in my 690 VS, in my Ranger 690, an 8-inch HDS, the mount for that unit actually sits perfect just to the right of my steering wheel. The console's curved, it comes down, and there's a flat space. It actually sits perfect in that flat space, so it's just mounted straight to the boat. But my HDS 10, which is up above my 8, which is what I run my side imaging on, it is on a cornfield crappie 6-inch unit mount. It is probably one of the best, if not the best mount that I've used. So I have a balls out mount that my Garmin's on. It's a 12-inch balls out mount that's on the front of the boat. And it too is a really nice mount. And I won't say anything bad about the balls out mount. The only thing like better about the cornfield crappie mount is the screws, the way you tighten it down. So the way you tighten the cornfield crappie is with an Allen wrench. The way you tighten down a balls out mount, it's got knobs on it with holes in them, and you've got to put something in the hole and turn it to get it to tighten. And I'll be honest with you, I use a pipe wrench. I use a little pipe wrench and put it on there and tighten mine down because I don't want my units moving. But for the way that they tighten down, I prefer the cornfield crappie over the balls out mount. But very good question. And they are a little pricey. They're about $200 a mount, but they're well worth it. I mean, once you put it on there, they're locked. They're stable. You can run down the lake. You can trailer. They don't bounce around. Your units are safe. You're taking care of your stuff. So it's worth the investment for sure. Robert says Bass Tank will ship for free. They'll ship the trolling motor for free, is what I'm assuming, Robert, you're talking about. I'll check them out again. They didn't have the trolling motor I wanted when I looked the other day, but I'm hoping that for some reason they may just be sold out right now, is what I'm hoping. We'll see. Josh, let's see. Anyone know of a good boat for sale? Thought I had one bought this next weekend and it got sold out from under me. Man, that stinks. I had some units sold out from under me one time and I know it ticked me off. Anybody knows a good boat for sale? Hit Josh up. Let's find this guy a boat. He needs a good boat. This is a good question from Brandon Miller. What are your top colors and body styles from Bonehead? Let's see. Top body styles. I prefer the stump bug. If I had to pick two, I'd say the stump bug and the slim stick. The small slim stick, not the 3-inch slim stick, the smaller one. My top colors would be black and chartreuse, moon dust, blood moon, slick neon, and I know I'm missing one, purple and chartreuse. I would say those are my top colors. If I was gonna start with 5 or 6 colors, those would be it for East Tennessee. Now, if you're fishing muddy water lakes primarily, then probably they've got a Palestine special, which is a blue and chartreuse. They've got an orange and chartreuse, which is really good. They've got a pink and chartreuse, which would be a really good muddy color. Those would probably be the top 3 if I was fishing muddy water all the time. But the stump bug is by far my favorite style of bait because you can turn the stump bug into 3 different baits. You can fish it as is out of the pack. You can take the center tail out of it and fish it, kind of as a frog almost. And then you can take the 2 outside tails off of it and fish it as a small beaver. So a beaver tail. So you can kind of make it 3 different baits in one, which is what I really like about it. Good question, Brandon. Hang on one second, guys. I see another super chat come through. Let me see. Where'd it go? Matt Scotch, thank you, sir. Super sticker. Thanks for being you, it says. That's pretty good. That's a pretty good sticker, Matt. I like that sticker. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate that very much, Mr. Scotch. Let's see. Let's roll back up. That was a pretty good one. Those stickers are cool. I had one of those last week. Those stickers are neat, man. They got some pretty funny ones. Let's see. Where'd we go? Man, I'll tell you, you guys are on it. I swear, you guys flood me with stuff every week. Thank y'all so much. I get lost in everything. It's so cool that you guys are just so awesome. Let's see. George Hamby, where'd you go? I saw another super chat. Mr. George. Thank you, Mr. George. I need to figure out this rogue image on my live scope. Help would be appreciated. Did you send me, George, did you send me a picture of that image? I think you did. Where's it at? Send me the image, George. Nope, wait a minute. I think I got it right here. Is this the image you're talking about? Doing. Is that it? If so, leave me another comment, George. Thank you for the super chat, buddy. I appreciate it very much. If that's right, let me know because I think I can help you. Let me roll back up here. Good question from Mr. Coffee. Weekend warrior here, as am I. I fish Douglas as I can. But haven't been in over a week, and I seem to stink at post-spawn crappie. How would you approach post-spawn on Douglas? Thanks. So post-spawn on Douglas Lake, Ashley, Google Earth on Douglas Lake will be your friend. Okay. I'll tell you what, let me pull up maps real quick and I'll show you. I will share my screen with you and I will just show you what I'm talking about. Hang on one second. Let me share my screen with you guys. Boink. It didn't share. Okay. Hang on. We seem to be having technical difficulties. Please stand by. Share screen. Share screen. Boom! There we are. Oh no, still not shared. Okay. Share. Bam! There we are, guys. All right. So, hope you guys can see my map. I'm going to actually wait until it comes up on the feed. Okay. All right, here we go. So let me find Douglas. There's Morristown. I'll find it in a second. There's Dandridge right there. All right, Ashley, I'm going to help you out, buddy. This is Google Maps. This is Muddy Creek right here, okay? So in Muddy Creek, let me show you a secret. And it's really not a secret, but let me zoom in for you. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Post spawn, the lake's up. If you come in here in Muddy Creek and you start looking around, oh, look right here. Lake's down right at the base of the lake. Dun, 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 dun. Look at that brush pile right there. You see that brush pile? Now, put a little drop pin on that. Hang on, I can't see it now. I've got a little thing that says I'm sharing. Oh, here we go. There we go. All right. You see these coordinates right here? These coordinates right here, if you copy these coordinates, click on those coordinates. There's your coordinates right here. Okay? You take these coordinates, you put them in GPS Babel, you can change those coordinates over to a Lowrance coordinate, and you can put it in your Lowrance, or you can put it in a Humminbird, or you can put it, you tell GPS Babel that this came from Google Maps, and you need it to go into Lowrance version 1, and it will put it into Lowrance version 1. And then all you have to do is upload it. You can save it to a card and you can upload it. Okay? It's that simple. There's your brush pile right there. Look, I'll show you another one. Da, 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 da. You can just kind of scroll through here. you want to be looking right at the water's edge and anything that's on the bank. Let's see if we can't find one on the bank. Here we go. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. That's a brush pile right there. See that? That log with that brush on it? See that GPS coordinate right there? Boing. Drop pin. Coordinates. Bang. That's simple. I love it. This will help you on Douglas, no doubt. That is the best advice, and I hope this helps more people. Look right here. Look right here. Look at this tree in the lake. See that tree in the lake right there? Bam. There's coordinates. Ding. Drop pin. Coordinates. You can sit here on Douglas all night long, sir, and do just like this all night long. So I hope that helps. If you can't figure GPS Babel, Google GPS Babel, and you'll get that. It'll show you. There's some more stuff right here. It'll show you. You can Google it, and it'll give you the website to click on. But man, this can be one of the best ways to find structure. I mean, just look for these banks. Look for this stuff that's setting up on these banks and in these creek channels, these washes, if you will. These washes right here just collect stuff, okay? So you can run these washes, and a lot of times, there's a tire. Look right there. See that tire right there, right beside my cursor? It's a tire. I mean, maps is one of the best things ever created for Douglas Lake, because they draw Douglas down so far. You can just roll through here and just find all kinds of stuff. Let me show you guys, if you bass guys, if you like to bass fish, let me show you a place on Douglas where you need to be bass fishing. Straight across from Dandridge Municipal Park, free ramp, straight across. You see this bay right here? Watch this. Look at this. Look right here. You see all these tires? This is all tire drops that TWRA's put in. Look at all them tires right there. Look at all them boxes and tires. Let's see. All this stuff right here. This is all stuff that TWRA's put in. Look at all that. That's those fish attractor things that TWRA uses. Look at all of it in here. Every one of these is a structure. Every one of those little dots is structured. It's insane how much structure. Here's wood right here. Wood. All this right here is wood. All these little things that look like just little blurred nothings, that's wood. That's structure, that TWR. There's a little stump right there, a little piece of structure right there. I mean, you bass guys, I mean, I guarantee you there's bass on those tires sitting on that point right there. There's more of them right here, look. Incredible how much structure is sitting over there. And that may be cinder blocks. That may be cinder blocks right there. I can't remember, but yeah, just all kinds of stuff on this lake. So I hope that helps. That's my wired for crappie tip of the night. I hope that helps people. You know, you can find a lot of stuff this way. Just come in here. Look right here. Look right here. There's one brush pile, two brush piles, three brush piles. There's a tree, that big tree right there. There's a tree. There's a brush pile right there on that bank. I mean, there you can just mark. There's a brush pile right here. Right there's a brush pile. You can go through here on Douglas and mark. Here's a tree laid right here. It's all kinds of stuff. Okay, guys? Look right here. Tree. This stuff's underwater right now. Here's trees right here. Here's a tree right there, right out in front of this dock. I mean, you can mark stuff all night long on Google Maps. So anyway, I'm going to come back to you guys. I hope that helps. And that's my wired for crappie tip of the night. So, Ashley, I hope that helps you, buddy. You know, mark those areas. If you can't figure out GPS Babel, hook up with me. We'll try to get that worked out. It can be a little confusing at first, but once you get it figured out, man, you can roll. And I've probably marked 2,000 different waypoints on Douglas just from the house. And it's incredible. You can go to those areas. You can go over them. A lot of those if they're right at the water's edge in that photo, they're going to be 18 to 20 feet probably now when the lake's up, and they will be loaded with fish, post-spawn fish. I mean, that's where I'd be. I'd be in that 18 to 20 foot depth on Douglas. So I hope that helps you, and I hope that helps a lot more people on here because I know there's a lot of people that fish Douglas, okay? Let's see. Mr. Ronnie Harris, looking forward to learning to shoot docks. So how do you hold jig and what size rod do you use? All right. There's going to be people that tell you, Mr. Ronnie, to hold the hook. I'm not holding the business end of anything. I promise you I'm not. So you got your jig, okay? I'm going to minimize your comment for just a second. So you got your jig, okay? A lot of people tell you hold the hook. Take it, hold the hook, pull it back, and let go. That's sharp. I don't want to hold that. So, I got butterfingers tonight. So you want to hold the head of that jig, okay? Hook up. Let's see, can you see that? There we go. Hook up. Hold that jig right like that. You want to pull it back. I use a 6-foot dock shooter, okay? And if you have a good quality rod, you can put some bow in that rod, okay? Don't be afraid. Load that joker up, all right? Don't give it too much. I mean, you don't want to break the rod, but you can load a rod up pretty good. If you're using a high-quality rod like an Ozark or a B&M, you can load that rod up and it'll take it, all right? So you want to hold that jig and you want to let go. You want to let go with the jig about a half a second before you let go with your finger, okay? So you open the bail, hold the line with your finger, hold the jig with the left hand or vice versa if you're left-handed. Pull it back. You let the jig go. A half second later, you let your line go. You got to give that jig time to get back out to the front of the rod where it's coming up or out instead of down. Because when you first let go of that jig, it's going to travel down and then kind of back up. So you got to time it. It's a timing thing. One thing that helped me when I started shooting docks, get you a 5-gallon bucket. Don't do it in front of the TV because you will shoot a jig into the TV. I promise you will shoot a jig into the TV, and then you'll be mad at me and you'll send me a bunch of mean emails because you broke your TV. And I say that from experience because I put a 16th-ounce jig through a TV. So don't sit in front of the TV and do it. But get you a 5-gallon bucket, put it about 20 feet in front of you, and get you a rod and just shoot that jig into that 5-gallon bucket and do it as many times as you can into that 5-gallon bucket and make a game out of it. You know, I got 6 times in a row this time. I'm going for 8 next time. And just shoot. And eventually you'll be able to put that jig in an inch underneath the dock. It's incredible. You know, the areas that you can get into shooting a dock and being able to utilize that technique is really, really great. So I hope that helps you. Crickwater Crappie, having horrible internet issues in Harrison tonight, but what are you using to film your videos with? Man, it's crazy you asked that because I actually I brought my camera in here and set it down, and I thought, you know, somebody may ask me at some point what I'm using to film with. So it's kind of crazy. I don't know, maybe it was 6 cents or something, but don't laugh at me, guys, okay? First of all, let me say don't laugh at me because I'm not running anything special, all right? This is a homemade job right here. This is a GoPro Hero 7 White, and these 2 zip ties right here are holding my external battery pack. That's it. It's on a cheap tripod. It's got 3 legs. Cheap tripod. Hero 7 white. That's it. And that external battery pack is a must. If you are going to film, you have to have an external battery pack. That is the absolute necessity, because these GoPros do not last very long. When they're recording, they will die, and it is a absolute dream to be able to plug that in and keep going. My GoPro will run continuous. It'll only film for maybe an hour, if that. And my cards hold 2.5 hours of film. So you can see the little red light come on right there. It's charging. So I can plug that in and I can fish all day long. It's a cheap, you guys know me, I'm cheap. It's a cheap battery pack from Walmart, and it'll run my camera all day. So hope that helps. Again, nothing special, nothing super high tech. I see a lot of these guys, they've got big mics up top. They've got wind mics. They've got, external mics and things of that nature. I just don't have that, guys. At some point, I may get there. Like I said earlier, I'm just trying to help you guys out and help you guys catch more fish and just have an enjoyable video that you guys like watching. I'm not trying to get real high tech with it. If I have horrible audio or something, somebody please tell me. I really would appreciate if somebody tells me that my stuff stinks, because I would invest. I mean, if my stuff stinks, I'd invest in better stuff. I mean, if I need a wind mic, I'll go get one. But yeah, I don't have a whole lot invested in it. I'm just trying to put out some good stuff for you guys and help you catch more fish. So I hope that helps. But GoPro Hero 7 White is what I'm running, and I like it. It's voice activated. I tell it start, stop, and all that good stuff. It's a pretty cool camera, to be honest with you. I really have enjoyed using it, and I'll throw this in there because my wife actually bought that for me. So this channel was actually my wife's idea, everybody. My wife actually said, hey, if you're going to go fishing every weekend, why don't you film it and let people watch, and you can help people catch more fish that way. And I said, hey, that's a good idea. Hence, Wired for Crappie was born. She actually bought me the camera too. It was a present from her. So, again, I love you, honey. If you're watching still, appreciate you. Matt Scotch, what's your progression when you find perfect tree brush loaded with crappie before you move on with live scope, downsize, hair jigs, etc.? So, progression, when I find fish, I guess, Matt, you're talking about what's my progression if they don't bite, right? If I find a perfect tree or brush pile and it's loaded and I throw into it and I'm looking at it with live scope, I pitch in there. If they don't look at the jig at all, if I make 3 pitches and I had one fish turn and at least look, I'm gone. I'm out. I'm going to find something that's more active. I will not waste my time sitting on a pile of non-active fish trying to get them to bite. I won't do it. Now, if I throw in there and they come, if they see the jig fall and they come out after it and then they turn and follow it, chances are they're hungry. They just don't like what you're offering. So that's when I switch. If I'm throwing blackened chartreuse, I'll go to something completely transparent. If I'm throwing something completely transparent, I may go to something that's more solid colored. And if that doesn't work, then I'll go to something with action. So if let's say I'm throwing a stump bug and they follow it but won't eat it, then I'm going to grab a crappie magnet slab curly. I'm going to pitch it out there, and I'm going to swim it by them with a curly tail and try to get them to react. If that doesn't work, I may throw a hair jig and bounce a hair jig in front of them and try to get that bite. If those 3 baits don't get a reaction bite and don't get a strike, I'm gone. I'm not wasting any more time. I would rather spend my time idling around the lake finding new structure than sitting on a brush pile. I'd rather find new structure with no fish on it than sit on a brush pile with fish and not catch them, because that just angers me. I get angry. I'm like, this is horrible. That's when I start going, I wish I had a cast net. I just net them all. But no, I won't stay on a brush pile that is inactive. Buck Chaser, what's going on? Good evening. How's it going? Glad you could join us. Let's see here. Hang on just a second, guys. I'm going to jump back down here. All right. Where'd we go? Hadn't had time to mail it. No worries, Travis. No worries. I just wanted to let you know I hadn't forgot about you, buddy. I didn't want you to, if something had happened and it got crossed up, I didn't want you to think I'd forgot about you. So I just, I wanted to mention that. George Hamby, I checked with Swafford's to see. Yeah, Swafford, for those of you who don't know Swafford's Trolling Motors, if you're in the Tennessee area, in East Tennessee, Swafford's Trolling Motors. I actually know Mr. Swafford. I've talked to him. He's walked me through several different things and troubleshot several things for me. So Mr. Swafford is absolutely wonderful with Minn Kota Trolling Motors. He's actually a Minn Kota repair shop. If you go to Minn Kota's site, he's actually on their site as a warranty repair shop for Minn Kota. Swafford's Trolling Motors. He's in Lenoir City. So yeah, George, he may be able to disconnect it. I don't know, but I have the old Taroba, which the spot lock on is not as good as the new Ultrexes or the new Taroba for that matter. So I'm going to upgrade, but I appreciate that. But yeah, I could check with him and see if that's something he could do. I don't know. But yeah, Swafford's is great. So thank you. Let's see here. Blake Houck, he says the purple shad stump bug was hot today. Purple shad is a good color. Yeah, purple shad. If you guys, I don't have a purple shad here in front of me, but purple shad it's got a purple top and then it's got like a silver, like an opaque silver bottom. Man, it's a really good color in the bonehead stump bug. That's probably one that I should have mentioned earlier that I didn't. But yes, purple shad is great. And while Mr. Houck is on the screen there, let me see if I can find. I got some pictures here. So I told you guys about the Crappie Cove in Gunnies last week. Maryville, Tennessee, Gunnies is opening a Crappie Cove, and they are getting set. I mean, they are starting to load that store up. There's one wall with a bunch of, that's Jiffy Jigs and Boneheads. You got Boneheads up here. You got Bonehead Jigs right there. They're jig heads, and then you got Jiffy Jigs and just about every color of the spectrum. If it's in the rainbow, it's in that store. So go check them out. They are going to have all of the best stuff. They're going to have the right colors. There won't be anything in that store that doesn't catch fish. I promise you that. I have talked to Mr. Blake a ton. He has asked me personally what colors I would see in that store, and I have gave him some information on my end that, hey, these are some of the colors that I know work, and then he's got some colors that he knows works. There's going to be the cream of the crop as far as colors and baits in that store. So Gunnies and Maryville, check them out. There's good stuff going in there, and there is a bunch of stuff going in there. I'm not kidding you. Let me see. I've got some more pictures somewhere. Let me see if I can't find those real quick. I know where they're at. I just got to find them. Right here. Here's more stuff. All boxes and boxes and boxes of stuff all going in. I'm telling you, it is going to be. There's some more Jiffy Jigs. I guess you guys probably can't see much of the color, but go check them out. They're going to have all kinds of good stuff. Okay. So it's going to be worth your trip. And not only are you walking into a Crappie Cove, you're walking into Gunnies as well. So 2 birds, 1 stone there, guys. Mr. Adams, show us that one. Which one? Which one are you talking about, Mr. Adams? I'm not sure. It says show us that one. I'm not sure which one that one is. Sorry, I'm behind on my comments. I'm not sure where I was at. Oh, maybe we found a boat. Josh, I don't know if you saw that comment or not. My uncle has a nice 17-foot Stratus with like a 130 horsepower, very clean boat. There's you one. Sean Bradford. I am from Middle West Tennessee. What would be a good post-spawn strategy? Depth, brush piles, trolling, and crankbaits. If you're going to pull crankbaits, I've shown these before. Arky Crappie cranks. That's a 220 size. I pull those with a 2 ounce or 3 ounce inline weight, one of the two. You can pull them with either. I think mine are 2 ounce, and then I do have some 3 ounce. But anyway, I threw it at you. Arky Crappie cranks. They're about $250 a crank, and you can't beat them. I like the 220s. They're a little bit smaller. Here's a AAA battery. There's a AAA battery, so you guys can see about how big those are. I prefer these. I know the fish like these because I've caught a lot of fish on them. They really, really like these cranks, and they've got all kinds of different colors. They've got your, I don't know what you call this, mad cow, I think is what they call it. And then there's a brown crawl with an orange belly. You've got your, of course, you got your fire tiger crawl, your green, yellow, and chartreuse, or green, yellow, and orange. So I'm telling you, I've got them for days in here, guys. Here's another, like kind of a speckled perch color, if you will. So the thing I like about these is when they come out of the pack, the hooks are sharp. I don't know about you guys, but I've taken a lot of crankbaits. I'm not going to name anybody's crankbait, but I've taken a lot of crankbaits out of packs, and the hook's been jumped. These hooks are sharp. They will catch fish, and they will hold fish. So I will say that. So that's what I use. So that's the crankbait I use. If you're going to pull crankbaits, I'd pull them main channel flats. I'd look for flats in 13 to 20 feet of water, and I'd fish them early. I'd fish them early or late, one of the two. Fish are going to move up out of the river channel. They're going to feed on those flats at night. So they're going to be there in the morning, and they'll be coming back towards the river channel. So I fish the river channel side of the flat. And then in the evenings, they're going to be coming up out of the flat or out of the river channel to feed. So I'd probably find main lake flats along the river channel, and I'd fish there. I'm not exactly sure what lakes you're fishing. Middle Tennessee, I can assume you're probably fishing some of those Old Hickory and some of those lakes around Nashville. But that's just an assumption. So, but still, I'd find those main lake flats to pull crankbaits on. Brush piles, 18 to 25 feet. I'd find brush piles post-spawn, 18, 25 feet. Mouths of the creeks and along creek channels. They're going to follow the creek channels out of the creeks. I'd start at the outside of the creek and work your way in, looking at brush on the creek channel. And 18 to 25 feet of water, and I'd fish them. You're probably going to find most of your fish moving on the outside third of the creeks, of the bays, post spawn. So that would be my suggestions to you for fishing those lakes post spawn. Is the Lowrance Elite TI good units? Most all Lowrance units are good units. Personally, I would stick with the HDS series if you're going to go Lowrance. Um, that's just a personal opinion. I have seen some elite TIs, and I've been in the boat with a couple elite TIs, and I just prefer the HDS units a little bit more than the elite TIs. But all the wrench units are good units, and most everybody's units are good units for the most part. But I'd stick with the HDS series, John. So George says that was the image that I showed. George, next time you're on the lake and you see that image, reset your unit. Okay. I actually had, and this has been 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, I actually had an image similar to that. It wasn't as defined as yours. Yours is there. Mine was more opaque. It wasn't really as bright as yours, but I actually had kind of a similar image to you, and I went in and restored defaults completely in the unit. I went in, you go to Sonar settings, advanced settings, and then I think in there it's restore defaults, restore factory defaults. Restore your factory defaults and see if that doesn't fix it. A lot of times I've noticed the more you move, you start moving your live scope around, your depth range, your forward range, your gains, you get your, I just hit my elbow, that hurt. You get your you get your gain changing all the time, your forward range, your depth, and you're adjusting your noise rejection and everything. I almost think they get kind of bogged down with all the changes that we make, and I almost think maybe they cross up a little bit. And I say Garmin's maybe cross up some, because when I did that factory reset, it was like night and day. I mean, it went perfect black screen, could see everything. It set everything back to auto, which of course I went in and put all my settings back in and worked it back the way I wanted it. But it was a perfect black screen. Every bit of orange was gone. It was incredible. So I almost think that that all the changes and stuff we make in them may kind of bog them down. I don't know if it's a processor thing or if it's just the unit trying to remember everything, but they're trying to just transition everything to what we were looking for. And I don't know. Try that and see if it helps. It may. It did for me. So let me know if it helps, by the way. Mr. Adams said, that's some good stuff right there. I'm thinking he's talking about maps. George, that is great using the maps like that. Thank you, George. I appreciate it. I hope that helps you guys out. Here's Ashley. Am I that far behind? That's good. Not. I'm really far behind tonight, I think. Okay. Man, that's awesome, Matt. I had no idea how to do that. I've looked at maps before, but had no clue on the coordinates thing. That alone was worth watching tonight. You're very welcome, sir. I am glad to help you out. I hope you catch some fish. Let's see here. I'm catching a lot of small crappie on brush piles. The big fish should have gone back to brush piles by now. Water temp 74 degrees. I'm picking up a few on docks, but not a lot of luck. Any advice? Yes. Addicted to hunting. 74 degrees. A lot of small fish on brush. Where are you fishing at? Drop me another comment where you're fishing at. I'm gonna approach it as if I was fishing in East Tennessee. Small crappie on brush piles. Are you fishing thick brush? A lot of times, thick brush is gonna hold small fish. Okay, it'll hold a lot of fish, but it'll hold small fish. Small fish need more cover. Once those fish get 10 inches plus, they're going to look for sparser cover. Once they get 12 inches plus, they're going to start becoming loners and kind of doing their own thing. You may catch 2 or 3 big fish together at a time, but for the most part, you're going to see that those bigger fish are loners, and they tend to hang on sparser cover. I've caught some of my biggest fish on single pole type stuff, just one stake in a bucket. I've caught some of my biggest fish on one stump or one single stake, or a single pole under a dock. So if you're fishing real thick brush, try to find some sparser cover. Docks at 74 again. There are a few lakes that I know of where you can catch fish on docks year round, and I mean year round. But once that water starts warming up, once it gets to about 75 and up, the shallower the water, the less oxygen it's going to have. Cold water holds oxygen better. So the fish are going to find that cooler water because there'll be more oxygen in it. Deeper docks are good in the summer most of the time, most lakes, and there are exceptions to that rule. I will say there are exceptions to that rule, because I do know one lake right now I could go catch 100 fish in 80-degree water and never fish deeper than 6 feet, but it's jacked up or something. They spilled chemical in it or something. I don't know what's wrong with them fish, but most lakes, for the most part, deeper docks. And I got my pink cup again tonight. I was telling my wife she's got to have my pink cup clean for you guys, because I got to have my pink cup and my Mountain Dew. But yeah, I would probably find some sparser cover and see if you don't find bigger fish. And if it's 74 degrees, stick around that 18 to 25 foot depth and see if you can find sparse cover in that depth and go from there. Mr. Adams said that's worth $20 for sure. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it. See, I always told my wife, my messed up brain and everything in there is worth a little something, ain't it? I mean, she says all the time I should have married a crappie. I told her it was illegal. Maybe I would have. I don't know, but it's illegal. John Bain, we really appreciate you, brother. Thank you, John. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys immensely. I really do. Ever since I started these live shows, it's just so much fun. I have so much fun doing this with you guys. It's incredible. I tell people about it. I talk about it during the week, and I'm like, 4 more days till my live. I get to do it again. I was like, yeah. I feel like a YouTube live junkie, man. I get to get on here and talk with you guys, and then get to know all you guys. It's part of the Wired family. Well, I'm going to start calling it that, Wired family. We're going to be the Wired family if y'all are okay with that. Steven, do you have a system for naming waypoints? It's funny. I was on a live with Chris from Sleep at the Reel, and there's a similar question to this. Came in and said, do I keep a journal? And Chris said, I know the answer to that. I'm going to write it down. He writes it down on a piece of paper. And I was like, well, okay. Fishing journal. Okay. What do you think the answer is? And he said, well, answer it and I'll show you my paper. And I said, okay. I said, nope, I don't keep a journal. And I don't, same thing goes for waypoints. I don't name my waypoints. They're just a blue dot. And it's all right here. So the reason, Stephen, the reason I was able to go to Douglas and find brush on maps that quick is because I know where it's at. I remember it. I probably marked that stuff 3 years ago, and I remember it. So I could open maps back up and take you, like those tires. I found those tires across from the boat ramp up at Douglas 3 years ago, and I remember they were there. So I I've probably forgotten more than I remember. Yeah, I probably have. But I mean, I've got, well, in my unit, I've probably got 3,000 waypoints or more, probably. So yeah, I fished so many different lakes. I fished Cherokee, Douglas, Watts Bar, Tellico, Loudon, Melton Hill, Chickamauga. I've been to Hartwell. I've fished High Rock. I fished, you know, uh, Georgia, Black Shear. I fished, you know, I fished all over the place, and I've got a lot of waypoints, but I remember them. So to answer your question, I don't have a naming system for my waypoints. They're all up in my head. But blue dots, if that counts, they're all blue dots. So, but I know that there's a lot of guys that do keep a very, very detailed waypoint log, and they've got everything. If it's a tree, they put a tree. If it's a rock, they put a rock. If it's a stump, they put a stump. You know, they go on, and you can do that. Our lakes here, there's so much stuff. I'm marking one thing and I see another, and it's like, okay, I got to get that too. So I don't have time, and I just don't. When I get home, my kids want to play and everything else. I just don't have time to sit down and go in there and do it. So blue dots for me. Dock shooting is addictive. Yes, it is. Ronnie, that is a true statement. Dock shooting is addictive. Once you get it down, yes, it will be addictive for sure. It is a lot of fun, but you will lose a lot of jigs. Get ready for it. You'll lose a lot of jigs. Docks, cross members. There's people put wires under their docks, you know, holding the poles. Floating docks, they've got joists in them, and you'll shoot a jig and it'll skip and get over top of a joist and you lose it. I've lost more jigs under docks than I think I've lost anywhere. I mean, it's incredible how many jigs I've lost under docks. But it's fun. It is addicting for sure, but it is fun. It's very fun. George Hamby, was that Google Earth? No, it was not. That was just Google Maps, George. Just Google Maps. Google Earth, you can do the exact same thing, though. Exact same thing. And actually, Google Earth, you can zoom in a little bit closer, so you can actually see it a little bit better on Google Earth. But for the fact of locating the brush and the stumps and the laydowns and the trees, you can do it on Google Maps like we were just on. You can get plenty close enough to see it. So, but Google Earth, you can use it as well. What type of surface do you look for during the spawn? Slate or something else? Eddie, I look for sand. Sand or pebbles. And when I say pebbles, I mean like a river stone. If I was going to fish the bank, riprap, I'd fish riprap. Points. Points are a good bet. Anytime there's rock on points, that's probably a good bet. But if I'm looking for a surface, I'm looking for sand. That's my number one, would be sand. Mike Davis from Abilene. Hello, sir. Do you find crappie holding on tires? I found lots of tires this weekend while scanning, didn't mark them. Tires will hold crappie. Yeah, they're structure. Yeah, they'll hold crappie. I would say the same thing that I said about, I got asked a question about rock. Rock would not be my first go-to. If I was fishing a tournament and needed to catch fish, rock would not be my go-to. Neither would tires. Yes, they'll hold fish. They would not be my go-to. I would look at them. If I knew where some were, I would look at them. Yeah. If I had them marked, I would drive over them just to make sure there wasn't anything there. Tires, in my experience, hold more bass, sand bass, white bass, catfish than crappie, but I have caught crappie off tires. So I would look at them. They would not be my go-to. Trent Smith, good stuff again. Thanks. You're welcome, Trent. Super Chat told me it's not available for this region. I have no idea why it told you that, Larry. I'm in the same region you're in, and I actually sent one to another YouTuber Sunday. Not sure. George Hamby, Gunny's the shooting range. Yep, that's it. That's it, George. Gunny's in Maryville, the shooting range. Yep. That's exactly right. Now it's a shooting range in Crappie Cove, because there's a Crappie Cove going in Gunny's, and it is going to have some good stuff in it. So go check them out, George. And make sure you tell them I sent you, and tell them they need to hook you up. Okay? Tell them Wired sent you, and you're there for the Wired. You're there for all the best Wired baits. You want every one of them. You want all the good colors, and you want all the good profiles. They'll hook you up. Oh, here we go. Address for Crappie Cove at Gunny's is 2208 East Broadway Avenue in Maryville. We should have everything up and going full speed next week. So there's the answer, guys. 2208 East Broadway, and everything up to full speed next week. And I'm going to go in there and I'm going to do a video for you guys so that you can see what all's in there. And we're going to do a reveal, which ought to be pretty cool. Hey, I just got a message. I just got a message that says mention Wired for Crappie and get 10% off. There you go. Mention Wired for Crappie at Gunny's and get 10% off, guys, at the Crappie Cove. 10% off at the Crappie Cove, okay? Thank them for that while you're there. Thank them very much for that. That's awesome. 10% off. Guys, if you guys know me and been with me long enough, you know I've got discount codes to several different companies. I do that for you guys, and that is a stipulation of mine. Anytime somebody contacts me and asks for my help, I tell them I want their help for you guys. So I try my best to get a discount code everywhere I can for you guys, so that you guys can see some benefit to that as well. And I know you guys do a lot for me and for the channel, so I want to do everything I can to reciprocate that to you guys. Okay. So 10% off at Gunny's if you mention Wired for Crappie at the Crappie Cove. Garmin was telling George to update his unit. I didn't want to update yet. I want it. George, it should work where it's at. If it's not working where it's at, Garmin's just telling you that because they think, oh, well, let's tell him to update, and that'll give him something else to do, and we'll continue to think what else it could be, and I want to update it. It should work where it's at. I have not updated my unit since I bought it. I'm still running like version 9 and 9.2 or something. It's ridiculous. I hadn't updated mine. Now, knock on wood, because mine could blow up tomorrow, but I would try resetting. I tried doing a factory reset of everything, wash it, and see if that fixes it, and let me know, okay? Matt Scotch said, on Google Earth, you have to check historical imagery under View tab to get the lower lake levels. Matt, you can do that, yes. Depending on what image Google Earth is showing you. Maps, it's all the way down. Google Earth, I don't know what month they're showing on Google Earth right now, but you're right. If you click the View tab, check historical imagery, it gives you a slide bar, and you can slide that bar back and forth, and it changes the imagery from when the satellite was over the lake and took the picture. So you can play with it. It'll show you different lake levels, and you need to find the one that's down the most and use that one. So thank you for that, Matt. That's a very, very good point. Josh, you knew what lake I was talking about. I'm not putting that on the screen. Josh, no, it is a chick. Yeah, you're right. The crappie down there are dumb. They stay in shallow water all year round. So the crappie are crazy on the chick. Everybody knows that. Well, I know that. You know that. And now everybody else knows that. So don't crappie on chick. And they're probably chemical crappie. Who knows? It's because, hey, that's what it is. It's because the chick has Asian carp in it now, and they're trying to run from the Asian carp. That's why they supposedly saw an Asian carp in there. I don't know. Is that conspiracy theory, Josh? You reckon the Asian carp that supposedly jumped in some guy's boat that he turned in like 3 months later or something? I don't know. That's a weird story. Let's see. Trey Johnson, I'm going to do my best with this one, Trey. Where would you be looking for crappie on Santee Cooper Lake Marion? Santee Cooper Lake Marion right now. Thanks, you're really helping me out. So, Santee Cooper. South Carolina. Santee Cooper. Yeah, South Carolina. Santee Cooper. That's below Hartwell. Yeah. No. Where's that at? Hang on. Santee Cooper. Santee Cooper Lake. I thought Santee, that's Lake Marion. Did you ask about Lake Marion? Where's Santee Cooper? Lake Marion's North Carolina, right? Where's Santee? No, it's not North Carolina. Yeah, it is. I'm confused. I don't know my states, obviously. All right. Santee Cooper and Lake Marion are South Carolina. I was right. Okay. Right now, what are the water temps? If the water temps are in that 74 to 75 range, like I was talking about earlier, I'd be looking post spawn. I'd be looking creek channels and Mousa creeks. I'd be looking 18 to 25 feet. I'd be looking for structure, and then I'd be looking at deep docks. I'd be looking docks with 10 to 20 foot of water under them. I'd find every dock on that lake with 10 to 20 foot of water under it, and I'd drive by and see if there's fish under it. Every one of them, because those post-spawn fish, they're going to group back up, okay? They're going to school back up. They're going to be looking for that stable water. They're going to be looking for shade. They're going to be looking to rest because they're exhausted from the spawn. And a lot of times they're going to find that under docks. They're going to find that in that consistent water, that consistent shade under docks. And docks hold bait fish to where they can feed back up because they're tired from the spawn, okay? So I'd probably be looking at docks and that 10 to 20 foot of water for post-spawn fish on Santee Cooper or Lake Marion. And then the creek channels, mouths of the creeks, catching fish that are coming back out from the spawn. Grant Bailey says, with the weather change this weekend, where would you start on Watts Bar this weekend? Well, the weather change was last weekend. I think that's what you meant. Weather change last weekend. And then where would I start this weekend on Watts Bar? Watts Bar. Let's see. I would probably 12 to 15 foot. I'd find structure in the creeks about halfway back, somewhere between in that second third, if you will. I'm not looking in the first third. I'm not looking in the last third. I'm looking in that middle creek, that second third of creek in 12 to 15 foot of water. And for those of you that were on earlier, Grant, you may have missed it earlier. My video that I'm going to put out tomorrow, I actually fished when that cold front hit Saturday. I fished because I knew that I wanted to show you guys how I approach a cold front in the middle of the spawn. A cold front down to 30 degrees that just smacks the fish in the head. I wanted to show you guys how I approach that. And I went out and caught fish that morning consistently and caught some decent fish and some small fish. I caught some females and some males. It's a mixture, but I caught a lot of fish and I had a really good day. And that's in a cold front. That's with a cold front that just smacked the fish in the head. So, but with the water cooling down, with as many cool nights as we've had, Grant, I would pull to that second, third, if you will, of creek, and I'd look 12 to 15 feet of water. One thing that I'm going to mention in the video tomorrow that I'll say now is those deeper depths aren't affected as much by a cold front as those 5 to 8 foot depths or 3 to 8 foot depths. That shallow water is affected faster and more than that 12 to 15 foot range. That 12 to 15 foot range is going to stay consistent longer with those cold fronts. So I'd go to that 12 to 15 foot depth. I'd find me some structure, and I bet you'll find fish. But stay in the creeks. Don't leave the creeks. Stay in the creeks, and you should do pretty well on Watts Bar. Phil Pickett, getting here late. Just finished planting my crops. Now it's back to crappie time. Well, welcome, Phil. We're glad you're with us. Glad you got your crops in the ground. Hope they get some rain on them soon, because we ain't scheduled to get any rain in East Tennessee anytime soon. So I don't know where you're at, Phil, but I hope it rains for you, because I know you need that if you just planted crops. Or maybe you have irrigation. If you do, that's artificial rain. It works just as well. I don't know a whole lot about planting crops, but I know about planting food plots. So, I know when you plant them, you pray for rain. You don't pray for rain until they're in the ground, but when they're in the ground, you pray for it. So hopefully you'll get that, buddy. So Ashley asks, I watched your video where you sore lipped a lot at the marina. Are marinas a place to look for crappie year-round? Just certain lakes or all lakes? All lakes. I've had a lot of mixed comments on that video. A lot of people that said, not bad comments, just comments that people said, hey, I can't fish marinas where I'm at because it's against the law, or they're posted, or yada, yada. So in Tennessee, they can't post the water. It's owned by TVA. They can set a marina on it, but they don't own the water. You can fish there year-round. They cannot run you off. Now, they can pester you until you just decide you're done and want to leave. But most of the time, if you're respectful and you're respecting the property and you're not doing anything outlandish and you're polite to people, they won't say anything to you. I mean, now you can get a power drill out, start drilling holes in pontoons, or start untying boats and pushing boats out of the way to fish. And yeah, you're probably going to get run off, and they're probably not going to be very happy. So don't do that. But respect the marina, respect the people, be polite. That they're fine. Most of them won't bother you at all. And yes, you can fish them year round for crappie. Marinas will hold crappie year round. Most marinas are fixed to land somehow. They've got a walkway that goes to land. And generally speaking, you can find 5 foot all the way out to some marinas I know that start in 5 foot and they go all the way out to 60, 70 foot of water. So fish can get under a marina, and marinas hold bait fish. So fish can get under a marina. If the right depth and the right temperature is 5 feet, they got it, and they got shade. If the right temperature and the right depth is 25 feet, they got it. If they can move anywhere in that marina and have the water and the depth and the shade that they're looking for and bait fish. Yeah, I mean, they're great places to fish. I mean, I will never exclude a marina unless I just know that, hey, that marina's got cables running all under it and you can't fish it. So there's no sense in me going over there. But I will always look at a marina regardless of where it's at. Probably conspiracy, too much gray area around that story, Josh said. So for those of you that have heard this story, on Chickamauga, there was a fisherman. He said an Asian carp jumped in his boat around the power plant or nuke plant, and he, I guess, had it in his freezer for like months before he took it to TWRA and said, here it is. It jumped in my boat. I don't know. I hadn't heard of anybody else finding one, but he said he put his trolling motor down. When his trolling motor hit the water, it jumped out of the lake in his boat. I don't know. I would think that if they're there, that there'd probably be more people that were saying they found them. But there's a lot of anglers on that lake daily. So I don't know. Maybe they are, maybe they aren't. But I hope they're not, because we don't need that in East Tennessee. Here's a good question. Any tricks on getting lure unhung on timber? Yeah, get you a lure knocker. You can make your own, or you can buy them. All you need is something that'll clip to your line and a very heavy weight. So you could get you a very small swivel, clip swivel, and get you a very, very heavy, 3 or 4 ounce lead weight, and take you some braid and tie them together. And you can clip that on your line if you're hung. Now there's a trick to it. You get hung on timber, you got to get directly over top of the jig so that your line is straight up and down in the water. Clip that weight on there, slide that weight down the line, and you'll feel it. You can keep your line tight, slide it down the line, and you'll feel it going down. And when you feel it hit your jig, pop it. And when you pop it, that heavy weight will bounce that jig off that limb. Now, when you do that, probably every fish in there is gone, but you get your jig back. So, it does. I've seen it done on live scope, and it leaves a bubble trail like nobody's business. It's pretty funny, actually. And when it comes off the tree, it creates this huge just void of bubbles that just and come up. It's just like little bubbles from the disturbance in the water. It's pretty neat, actually. But I've seen fish that are just like, see ya. That wasn't normal. But that's a good way to get jigs out of a tree. Like I said, you can buy those knockers too. If you don't want to make your own, you can buy them. George, if you're still here, George said he's out. He said good night. Good night, Wired Fam. I'm out, he said. I like that. I think we're going to stick with that. Wired Fam. You guys like that? We're going to stick with that. The Wired Fam. I like it. Let's see here. Ashley says, Matt, Larry, having good line and using hooks, jigs with hooks that will bend fairly easy, like the double cross jigs, for example, have helped me a lot in not breaking off as many lures and brush. Yeah, they will. Let me mention another guy that makes a good light wire hook, and that's actually who it is. It's Light Wire Hooks. Name's Curtis Hobbs. He's in Georgia. He makes a light wire hook that is very, very good. If you catch a lot of 2+ pound fish, be careful with it, because it is light wire. It is very light wire, and you can get them out of trees, but a big fish, if you horse them, it'll straighten. I mean, it's that light. I mean, he makes a really good hook. But yes, it is light wire. I will caution you, it's light wire. If you horse fish, it's light. I said that twice because it's the truth. But yeah, a double cross jig head, that's what I use. I use a Crappie magnet double cross jig head. That is a double cross head. You can see it has 2 barbs. It's got a barb on either side of the head of the shank here. It's got a barb on that side and a barb on that side. That is a double cross jig head from Crappie Magnet. They do have a mustad hook. They're a great jig head. And actually, they're going to have those at Gunny's. They're going to have light wire hooks at Gunny's. So they're going to have Curtis's hooks. They're going to have these. So you can pick those up there. But yes, they're great jig heads. And a good jig head that'll bend out with heavier line, yes, that will help you. But you got to be careful with that too, Ashley, because if you've got a heavy line and you're pulling on brush piles, a lot of times those brush piles, that limb, you can watch that limb on live scope, you pull on it and that limb will stand up. And when that jig comes loose, you can see that limb just shoot right back, and that'll spook fish a lot of times too. So it could be good, it could be bad, either way. Crickwater Crappie says, I spend usually 4 days a week on chick, and I haven't seen Asian carp yet. Yeah, I've spent a lot of time on chick too, buddy, and I haven't seen one. Now, are they there? I mean, I don't know, but time will tell for sure. Here's a good one. Robert says, have you tried the 13-foot jig pole from Ozark Poles that is on trial? And if so, do you like it? Robert? I have not tried the 13-footer, but I don't want to give anything away till tomorrow night. So watch my video tomorrow. Wink, wink. Let's see. Am I at the bottom? I am at the bottom. You guys have anything else before I go? I'm going to go back up here a little bit and see if anybody has any other questions. Drop them down there. We're at 1 hour and 35. I'll give you a few more minutes if you guys have some more questions before we go. Robert, I'd elaborate more on that, but watch the video tomorrow. It's a great video. I really enjoyed to making it, and you guys know me. I try to have some type of knowledge of about every technique, and I've done videos of with live bait. I've done videos slip floating. I've done videos with like a drop shot. I've casted. I've shot docks. I've pitched brush. I have trolled. I've pulled crankbaits. I have not done a spider rigging video yet. I can spider rig. I've spider rigged for years. I can't stand the spider rig because you have to go so slow, and I just am not a slow fisherman, and it drives me nuts, but I know how. I just hadn't done it yet, and I'm sure at some point we will probably do it. But when I bought my Ranger, I had just about decided that spider rigging was too slow for me, so I actually haven't put spider rig holders on my Ranger yet. I had them on my old Bass Tracker, but I don't have them on my Ranger. So I do have rod holders in the back. I guess we could reverse spider rig and do it out of the back and run backwards. I could do that. I mean, I'd be a pain a little bit, but I could do it. So I don't know. Maybe we will at some point do some spider rigging, but I've done just about everything else. Thank you, Josh, with the super chat. I appreciate that, Josh, very much. You're very, very welcome for the advice. I hope it helps. I really do. I know I keep saying that, but guys, for those that know me personally, for those especially that are in the club and have been in the club since its beginning, they know I just want to help you guys out. That's my goal. My goal is just to help people catch more fish. So thank you, Josh. I appreciate that, buddy. Thank you for the super chat. All right, got a few more questions. How about contour mode? In normal mode, if I have the graph set 40 feet out and I'm in 20 feet of water, then half the screen is blank space for the water column and shows just 20 feet out in either direction. So Larry, contour mode, I do not run contour mode. I don't prefer contour mode. I prefer to have that black area. And let me say this, that black area is not just black area. It is actual area in the water. The transducer, and I'm sorry, I always have a hard time doing this, but that transducer is actually shooting a cone underneath the boat. So when you say the black area is at 20 feet, it is at 20 feet on either side. the black area is, but you're actually seeing straight down below the boat and out 20 feet. Okay. So if there's something in that first 20 feet, it's going to show up in the black area. It's not just dead space. It will show up in that black area. And if there's any type of structure, if it's a tree or a stump or anything else, it's going to show it to you. So you're actually getting the full 40 feet. And I think that's what you mean by that comment. But no, I don't run contour mode just because I prefer to have the black area because it's easier to see fish in. If there's fish on structure in that black area, you can pick them out really quick. If it's in contour mode, it's orange bottom from your boat all the way over. And a lot of times it's hard to pick fish out in that sometimes, especially if they're tight to structure. So I do not run contour mode. Did you side scan the marina before you fished it? I tried it Monday and did not see anything. Yes, I do side scan the marinas. Yes, you're right, Dennis. Sometimes it's hard to see that far back because you're looking a lot of times on a marina, especially one that's double-sided, if it's got a side on this, a row of boats on this side and a row of boats on this side, it's 40, 50 feet to the center of that marina. And a lot of times that's where the fish are at. So I do side scan it, and I do pay very, very, very close attention. Sorry, I got a fire truck or an ambulance or something just went by the house. I hope you guys didn't hear that. But if you side scan a marina and you're looking at that 40, 50 feet range, pay very close attention. You're not necessarily looking for individual fish. You're looking for a cloud of fish. It almost resembles bait because generally under marina, they're going to bunch up. And you're looking for something that looks ghostly. I mean, it's just you're going to be going along and it's going to be solid bottom. Then all of a sudden you're going to see something that's fuzzy and you're going to be like, what is that? Is that fish most of the time? Yes, that'll be fish. If it's not fish, it could be brush. So a lot of people look for the individual fish, the marks for the fish. And a lot of times you're not going to see that, Dennis. So if you're scanning a marina and you see, generally what I do is I'll find a constant, okay? I'll find a constant on that marina and I'll say, okay, that's what it's supposed to look like. And then when I see a variation in that, it's something there, whether it's fish or brush or something somebody hung from the dock, or there's generally something there if your picture changes. So that's what I'll look for. Robert, thank you. Thank you for your super chat. Thank you for that. You're very welcome for the help. I appreciate you watching. I appreciate you being part of the channel. And thank you so much for your super chat. Steven, thank you for the sticker. What's your sticker? Oh yeah, that's actually me, Steven. That is a self-portrait of me. See, look. Yeah, see, that's a good one. That's my self-portrait. I just want everybody to know that sticker. I hope you guys can see that sticker. I dyed my hair back though. It used to be pink, but yeah. Thank you very much, Stephen. Uh-oh, this ain't good. I believe we're experiencing a limited failed spawn here in Northeast Oklahoma. Do you know of any symptoms of this so I can confirm or deny my suspicions? Well, call me Camo. Let me ask you this. Why do you think you're experiencing a limited failed spawn? Has there been, is it weather related? Is it water related, or what? I have not spent a lot of time in Northeast Oklahoma, believe it or not. So I don't know why. Tell me why you think that is. Give me a little bit more info. Is it temperature never got right? It swung too quick, or the water was too dirty? You got an influx of rain? What leads you to believe that, first of all? And let's if you can drop me a question with that, I'll answer further. Looking forward for video now, and when marking structure with buoy, when is best to drop it? Ronnie, best to drop a buoy? Probably, I drop mine right on the brush. I don't think it affects the fish very much. And actually, I'll be honest with you, I actually drop concrete. I know that sounds crazy, but I take a sod staple. Everybody's done it. You throw a buoy out, it doesn't spin. It aggravates the crap out of you because you try to go back to your spot and it's not there. I have a trick for that. And I'm sorry I don't have a buoy in here with me. I'll bring one next week. Okay, I'll show you this next week. But I take a sod staple. I mix up some concrete. I take a water bottle and I cut it in half. And I put that sod staple in the water bottle, and then I put concrete in the water in the half of a water bottle, and then I tie my buoy line to that sod staple. So I go concrete, about that big around, about that tall, concrete block that is on my buoys, and I throw it right on top of the brush pile. I've actually hung them in brush pile a lot of times, and you just break it off and pour you another one when you get home. But yeah, I try to throw mine as close to the brush pile as I can. If it's a really windy day, or if I know that I'm going to get over top of the brush, if I know I'm going to get right over top of the brush and vertical jig, I'll generally, when I see it on my graph, I'll count to 3 and then I'll throw it out. So as soon as it comes across my graph from the top down on my side imaging, when that brush comes onto the screen, I'll count 1, 2, 3, and then I'll throw it out. Just because I know, and I do it on the upwind side, just because I know that I'm going to vertical jig that structure, and I want to be right over top of that structure, so that when I drop down, I'm not trying to fight my buoy and the trolling motor. I'm not trying to keep the trolling motor off the buoy constantly. I can get the buoy out in front of me 5 or 10 feet, and I can get over top of the structure without being on top of that buoy. But the key with that is, like I said, upwind of the brush pile. If you're going to throw that buoy out, do it upwind of the brush pile so that the back of your boat's not hitting the buoy. Because if you do it downwind of the brush pile and you're vertical jigging, your boat's going to be on the downwind side, and then your boat's going to be banging up against the buoy in the back. So, Addicted to Hunting, thank you very much. I appreciate the super chat. You are very, very welcome, sir. And I appreciate you very, very much. Thank you. All right, here's Call Me Camo. Here's his, is this the reasoning for, yeah, this is the reasoning for the first question of, he thinks we're experiencing a limited failed spawn. No fish on banks or even on bottom. No colored up males, huge cold fronts at prime times, still catching some females with light colored eggs. All fish that I've been catching are in 10 to 20 feet of water. Sorry, my throat's getting scratchy. I got the Ronas. Okay, so let's see. No colored up males, huge cold fronts at prime times. Females with light colored eggs. No fish on the banks. Call Me Camo does not concern me. It would not concern me. The reason being is because a lot of times I've found, especially on our lakes around here, they're a little clearer, and TVA draws our lakes up and down a lot. So I think the fish have adapted to that, and I actually think fish in our area spawn in some lakes in 7 to 10 feet of water. They're spawning because I've seen a lot of fish very active up and down structure in that 7 to 10 foot of water range, which almost tells me there's laying going on. I think that I think that I honestly think I've seen fish in that depth spawning. So it doesn't really concern me. There's no fish on the banks. A lot of times those fish, if it's not right on the bank, again, if you're having a lot of cold fronts, especially huge cold fronts, that shallow water is affected more by cold fronts. So if you're looking on the bank for fish that are spawning and those fish can't get in that shallow water because that shallow water is 60, that shallow water and the rest of the lake could have warmed up to that 65 to 66 degree range that they need to spawn. That shallow water cooled off. That little bit deeper, that 6-7 foot of water stayed the same at depth, and they could be spawning there. So, like I said, the bank thing doesn't really concern me. No colored up males. If you're not finding them on the banks, then those colored up males could be in that 6 to 7 foot water. And if they're in that 6 to 7 foot water, they may not color up as much because they're not trying to hide. Males color up like they do because they're hiding from predators. When they're in that shallow water, if they were silver, every bird of prey out there would see them, every one. So they color up so that they blend in that shallow water. So if they're not spawning shallow, they might not color up as much. So, that could be why you're not seeing the color. Let me say this: fish adapt. Any animal adapts. Whether it be a fish or a deer or a bear or whatever, animals adapt. So they're going to find what they need to further their species. I mean, people do it. So that's just kind of my thought process of what I think might be going on here. Still catching some females with light colored eggs. Yeah. Again, that doesn't really concern me, Call Me Camo, because anytime in any lake, not all females are going to spawn. If the females, let's paint this scenario. So let's say there were some males that moved up shallow, and then there was a wave of females that moved up, and right when they started to move up, a big, huge cold front hit, and they went, nope, moved back out. That wave of females might not run again, or they may run later. If they don't run again, then yes, you could have lost that wave. But fish go in waves. They're not going to go to the bank all at the same time. So, again, you may get 20 different waves of fish that hit the bank, and they could be 20 different days. I wouldn't be too concerned with the spawn. Now, could it be off? Yes, it could be. Could it be reduced? It could be. But there again, fish are going to find a way to do it. They're going to find a way to spawn. I wouldn't worry about it a whole lot. There are off spawns. We have them in East Tennessee. It's proven. And TWRA does it, but they're not completely dead. They're just reduced. Fish spawn every year. It's just a reduced spawn. So I wouldn't say I wouldn't want to say you had just a failed spawn, a limited spawn. Yes, you could have. And cold fronts and things of that nature will do that. But as far as them being on the bank and not colored up, I would not think that would affect much. And that was a lot for that question. I'm sorry. I hope I didn't go on a rant like I always do, but 8-ounce sinker works on buoy markers too. Yes, it does. And yes, it gets down fast. The concrete gets down fast too. I remember the first time I actually got the concrete thing from a buddy of mine. I remember the first time I fished with him, and he threw one of his buoy markers out. He said, there's fish, and he chunked his buoy out, and it went boom. I was like, oh. I was like, what is that? I was like, just throw a cinder block in the water? And he's like, no, it's my buoys. And I looked down there underneath his dash, and I said, what is that? And he showed it to me. I said, hey, that's a pretty good idea. I'm stealing that. And I stole it from him. So that was a stolen one for sure. But yeah, they get down fast. Ain't no doubt about that. Here's some more from Call Me Camera. This is very uncharacteristic for this time of year, as I'm usually catching spawners in mid-April at the latest. Yeah, like I said, I mean, you could have experienced a limited spawn, or you could have been experiencing just a spawn that is different. That's why, and Call Me Camo. If you, like I said earlier, there was somebody asked me about a journal, keeping a journal. And I said, no, I won't keep a journal. I keep what I need up here. And then other than that, I don't want to remember what I did on August the 3rd in 2017, because it's 2020. And on August the 3rd, I'm going and finding fish somewhere else. 9 times out of 10, you go back to the exact same spot and try to do the exact same thing, you could end up hurting yourself, so what they did last year won't necessarily be what they do this year. So, and they could be spawning in a different part of the lake than you're fishing. I don't know. Maybe you're fishing the same areas. Maybe you're not. I don't know. But this is kind of the exact reason that I won't keep a journal, because a lot of times from year to year, it's different. Everything's different. The temperatures are different. The fronts are different. The water intakes are different. The river, the lake depth or river depths or currents or everything could just be different this year. Spring's early, spring's late, a long winter, a short winter, just unseasonably high temperatures, all kinds of different stuff. Moon phases are different during the time of year. April 1st this year could be a full moon, and next year it may not be till April the 11th. It's just, so many different things play into that. And that's part of the reason I don't keep a journal. Do you prefer the H-shaped buoy or the dumbbell-shaped buoy? I prefer the H-shaped, and I'll tell you why, because they reel up quicker. The dumbbell-shaped buoy, you sit there like this for an hour trying to get it out of 20 feet of water, and you're like, all right, I got it. Let's go find another one. Hang on, let me get a drink. So I prefer the H shape just because they're easier to reel up. They reel up a little faster. I saw some guy had a thing on a drill that he put on there and it zipped it up on the dumbbell. I think it was a piece of PVC he had on there, but no, I prefer the H shape just for that simple purpose. Ashley said, I tried, can't figure out the super chat sticker, but I really do appreciate the info. I'll get with you on supporting the channel. Thanks again. God bless. Thank you, Ashley. I appreciate that, buddy. Yeah, you've got all my info. Just get with me. No problem. I've actually had a couple texts and things that said they can't figure out super chat either. Guys, I'm not an expert at super chat. I know a lot more about crappie fishing than I know about super chat. I'm sorry. So I'll try to figure it out next week and let you guys know how that works. But when I did it, I just clicked on it. It asked me for my information. I put it in and hit go, and it just went. I was like, oh, cool. That was easy. So if you're not able to do that, I'm not sure. I'll try to look into it a little bit more and get a little more info on it. But thank y'all for the support. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys so much for that. And William says, thank you again for the great info. Bedtime in North Carolina for me. Most of all, thanks for your service. Good night. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, William. You're very welcome, sir. And everyone is welcome. It is bedtime in Tennessee too, guys. So we're going to cut this one. I appreciate y'all for watching. I appreciate everything that y'all do for the channel. I see Ronnie. He says, thank you, Matt and Wired family, for all the information. You're very welcome, Ronnie. I'm going to actually go to the Wired family and make sure that they are all in bed sleeping, which they probably are. And again, guys, I do these lives at 9 o'clock because I have 2 children and I work. And when I get home, they want to play with dad. So I try to get to you guys and get this live as early as I can. But generally, it's hard for me to get to you guys earlier because there'd be kids bouncing off the walls in here in my back pocket, and you guys would be like, man, he's got all kinds of stuff going on and it's loud and this is crazy, and it'd be an adventure for sure. So That's why part of the reason we do it at 9 o'clock. But anyway, I appreciate you guys. Thank you very much. Thanks for watching tonight, and God bless everybody. So we will see you tomorrow. My video's dropping, so watch that tomorrow, and we'll see you guys tomorrow and then again next week. So God bless. Good night. Thank y'all again. And yep, Major Brown said hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you hadn't, and tell your friends. I appreciate you guys. See ya.